Hey, what's good, y'all? It's Stinger, and today I'm going to be making an entire beat in reverse. Meaning I'm going to make the beat, export it, and then reverse the entire beat and hope that it sounds good. I have a feeling you're all about to watch me go slowly insane, so let's not delay the torture and get right into it. Also, side note, sorry if the lighting has been a bit sporadic in all my videos. I'm trying to experiment with different lighting styles and see what works, so that's why it's been pretty inconsistent. All right, so I'm thinking we can go one or two ways with this. We could go for like a reverse Cardi melody, or we could do one of those reverse piano melodies. And honestly, I think making a dark piano beat might be a bit easier and won't send me to the psych ward, so let's go with that. First thing I'll always do when I start my melody is I define what key I want to work in. And for dark beats like this, my personal favorite is F sharp minor harmonic. Now I want to do a 1-6-5 chord progression, but I have to lay it out as a 6-5-1 since we're reversing it later. All right, so here's the melody we've got so far. It sounds a little bit funky, but hopefully it'll make sense once we reverse it. All right, so now I'm gonna add some strings, and east-west solo violin has been my go-to as of recently. Specifically, this long EXP fat. This one just sounds so clean, and I'm hoping it'll sound decent when reversed. All right, so here's what it sounds like with the strings that I threw down. As you can tell, I'm going for a super basic melody because I don't want to clutter it up when it gets all reversed and sound really weird and like heavy on the transients. All right, so I'm just going to throw in one last thing for the melody, and it's just going to be these vocals from Omnisphere. All right, so since the melody's sounding a little bit bland, I'm thinking we pitch the melody up an octave and then throw gross beat to throw it back down an octave and see what the gross beat does to manipulate the melody. Yeah, I do not like that. Yeah, it sounds a whole lot better without the vocals. All right, so maybe instead of the vocals, I'll be 100% creative and throw down a bell. Oh, wait, shoot, but I have to reverse the bell. So that way when I reverse it, it's not reversed. Okay, this is something. So it looks like I gotta go the Ableton method and start doing stuff directly on my tracks. So the first bell needs to be hitting at F sharp, and this is at C. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, so I added on some reverb onto the bell in the hopes that when I reverse the melody, it'll kind of have like an upward swoop reverb sound into the bell when it hits. We'll see how it actually goes though. All right, so I'm gonna transpose the melody down by 3 semitones. That way it's at D sharp minor. I think it'll sound a lot more dark and sinister at that scale. And I gotta turn down the pitch of these. That's gonna be such a pain when I do the 808s. Oh my gosh, bro. All right, so here is what our melody is sounding like. so iffy of whether or not it's gonna sound good. I want to reverse it so bad right now to see if it would sound good, but that would just be cheating. And it's gonna be really tricky because I have to lay down all of my drums on the playlist rather than using them in the piano roll. Because if I reverse it, I can't dictate where it first hits if it's reversed on the piano roll. So we just gotta roll with the punches here. All right, so I've got my drum sounds. I pulled them all from my own kits from a bunch of various kits. So if you like the sounds, feel free to check out my sound kits in the link in the description. Now that I'm done asking for money, let's make these drums. That freaking hurt my brain, bro. All right, so for these counter snares, I'm gonna attempt to do a snare roll. That's all I gotta say. Just pray for me, man. So if it's... All right, time for snare rolls, baby. I'm gonna go with the classic triplet snare roll. This is more torturous than I thought it was gonna be. The hard part about it is like you kind of have to do your own mental math to try to figure out if it's actually gonna sound good. But I have a feeling that when I reverse it, everything is gonna be all out of whack, and that's my worst nightmare right now. All right, next let's lay down these hats. I'm gonna try to go nice and simple, but I'm also adding a little bit of rolls for a challenge. Bro, everything is so ear piercing when it's reversed. Cause it's supposed to hit right there. Okay, yeah, I think I got it right. So you could add in a roll at the end, which is actually the beginning. I know I keep saying it a lot in this video, but it's so hard to gauge whether or not it's like accurate. I guess it's kind of like a test. You'll only know if the answers are right once they're finished. All right, so I'm gonna skip forward a bit until we do the 808s. That way my sanity is the only one that's depleting, not yours. All right, so I've got everything laid out now except for the 808. So this is what it's sounding like so far. All right, so doing these 808s is gonna be a bit tricky because I have to pitch correct every single one of them to match the root note. Tricky is the wrong word. It's gonna be more time consuming than anything. So the first note is a D sharp, well, the last note, but the first note, D sharp, B, A sharp. Okay. I have a feeling it's gonna be mixed terribly because I have to keep like pulling everything down because the reverse transients are just like shooting through the roof. So I don't know if once we reverse it, it's just gonna be extremely quiet, but I mean, I guess we'll see. And I'm thinking we can go bum, bum, bum. So we go A sharp an octave up, the 7th of A sharp, and then A sharp at its original octave. I'm making it harder than it needs to be, but I kind of want to have a good end result. All right, so we've got our 8-bar loop done. And I mean, what can I say? It sounds incredible. Little freaking whoa, it's so goofy, bro, I swear. All right, now we can't just leave it as an 8-bar loop. We gotta at least arrange an intro, a chorus, and then a verse. So we'll move this over, have that be the chorus. We can do a filtered 808 only, so we can create an automation clip, but it'll kind of be a... Oh, I know, what am I doing? The intro is on... Oh my gosh, bro. So the intro has to be over here. So when we reverse it, oh my gosh, bro. I almost spoiled the whole plan. So I'm gonna do a love filter automation, but the mix level of the automation has to go down when the chorus starts. Let's figure it out. All right, and then for the verse, we could just split up the melodies, I guess, and then introduce some variation, like cut out some parts, reintroduce some parts. All right, I'm not gonna arrange a whole beat because I need a little bit of my brain left once I'm done with this. But here's how the arrangement is going. First, at the end, we have the intro, where I have the 808 and the melody playing, and I have Fruity Love filter with a triangle low pass filter with an automation clip so that it goes down gradually and leads into the chorus. For the chorus, we have everything playing all at once, through and through. Next, we go into the verse, where we have the melody with only the piano playing, Geez, I look like a freaking maniac. As well as the 808s. And then towards the end of the first part of that verse, it reintroduces some of the drums so that it leads into the next part of the verse smoothly. In the next part of the verse, we introduce all of the drums as well as the bell. And in the final part of the verse, we introduce those strings again. So now it is time for the moment of truth. Let's render this out, reverse it, and see how it sounds. All right, here we've got our consolidated beat. Let's reverse it and give it a listen. So far, it's sounding promising. Sounds like a beat. That snare roll is so whack. I mean, it's not terrible. It's not like the best beat that I've ever made, but I expected it to be a lot worse. There were most definitely a bunch of hiccups. Like that snare roll sounded freaking awful. It just sounded so like clustered and didn't have any kind of like rhythmic sense at all. And then this little pattern right here with the hi-hat where it goes kind of didn't work. I don't know like where that went. I didn't hear it at all on the beat. And the 808 was just completely blown out. But I mean, overall, we made something that's bearable to listen to. I mean, considering the circumstances, I'd say I'm pretty all right with what I made. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video and found some enjoyment out of my suffering. If you have any questions, please feel free to throw them in the comments down below and I will do my best to answer them. Also, feel free to stop by my Patreon. I post the FLPs for all of my tutorials, including this one if you want to grab it. I don't know why you would want to download that. This is basically just like a SCP in an FLP file. But yeah, other than that, that's going to be it. Peace.